So how do you take a huge crowd of people, a massive group of individuals, and turn them into a single unified community? I mean, it's one of the big questions, right? Today, we're going to dive into a really old blueprint for doing just that, one we find in the book of Exodus. And we're going to see how this incredible mix of strict rules and just willing generosity built a nation. Okay, let's get into it. So our story kicks off with this really powerful image, the whole Israelite community, all gathered together as one. Just try to picture that scene for a second. A whole people, fresh out of slavery, now standing together, waiting for the words that are going to shape their entire future. Everything, and I mean everything, starts right here, with this collective act of just listening. And the very first thing they're told, it's not about what they need to do, it's about what they need to not do. It's a command that's going to frame their time, their work, their whole identity, really. This is the sacred rule of rest. And the command itself is just stunningly simple. The week is split cleanly into 2 parts. You've got 6 days for all your work, but that 7th day, that's holy. It's a Sabbath rest to the Lord. And listen, this isn't some friendly suggestion. It's the fundamental rhythm that is going to define their whole life. And just to make sure everyone gets how serious this is, the command comes with, well, the ultimate penalty. Whoever does any work on it is to be put to death. Yeah. There's zero ambiguity there. This rule is absolute, it's non-negotiable, and the stakes could not be any higher. This is the bedrock of their shared discipline. And this thing reaches into every single home. We're not just talking about, your day job. The rule against even lighting a fire. That shows you just how total this rest was supposed to be. It's a complete, collective pause. A shared experience of doing nothing that really sets them apart. Okay, so after laying down this super strict top-down rule about what not to do, the instructions take a complete 180. Moses now issues a totally new kind of command. And this one isn't about restriction at all. It's about creation. It's about active participation. And you can just feel the shift in tone, can't you? The key phrase here is everyone who is willing. Think about that. After a command that's backed by the threat of death, we get an invitation. The focus totally flips from external obedience to an internal drive. This is no longer about what you have to do, it's about what your heart moves you to do. So what are they actually being asked to give? Well, the list starts with their most precious stuff: gold, silver, bronze, rare gemstones. This isn't a call for leftovers. It's an invitation to contribute their real wealth, the very symbols of their security and prosperity. And it doesn't stop with just wealth. The call goes out for things that require skill and artistry. These vibrant yarns, fine linen. It shows you that the offering isn't just about what you own, but it's also about beauty and human craftsmanship. And finally, the list rounds out with all these practical, durable goods. Materials for building, for light, for beautiful smells. When you look at the whole list, it's obvious. They're being asked to bring everything needed to build something truly magnificent, something lasting from the ground up. But here's what's really crucial. The call wasn't just for materials. It was for talent. The artisans, the craftspeople, the builders, every skilled person was invited to bring their gifts to the project. This community was going to be built not just with their stuff, but with their own hands and their own creativity. So you have this really strict law on one hand, and this totally open invitation on the other. So how did the community respond? Did they actually step up? The answer, as we see it in the text, is a massive, resounding yes. And the language here perfectly mirrors the invitation. The response wasn't forced, it wasn't reluctant, it was just this outpouring from everyone who was willing and whose heart moved them. So you see, this wasn't about just complying with an order. It was about inspiration, about a shared desire to make something beautiful together. And as you can see, the response was truly across the board. It wasn't just the rich guys or the people in charge chipping in. Men, women, leaders, artisans, literally every part of the community stepped forward. This was a genuine collective effort. It was everyone buying into this shared mission. I mean, let's just look at the details for a sec. You have men and women bringing their personal jewelry, brooches, earrings, rings. You have skilled women who are literally spinning the yarn with their own hands. The leaders are providing the rarest gems for the project. Basically, anyone with any resource, whether it was silver or bronze or even just wood, they brought it forward. This wasn't just giving away stuff. This was an act of collective investment. Okay, so let's pull back for a moment and really think about what's going on here. We've seen two totally different kinds of instructions, one of absolute unbending restriction and one of open-hearted invitation. So how do these two, almost opposite, forces combine to build a single shared identity? So first you have the Sabbath. This is an identity built on restraint. By everyone agreeing not to do something, not to work, not to even light a fire, they create this powerful shared boundary. It draws a really clear line. It defines who is part of this community based on a shared discipline. But then you have the offering. And this is an identity built on generosity. This is all about a shared purpose, a positive project that everyone can contribute to. Building something real, something sacred together, well, that creates incredible bonds of cooperation and shared ownership. It's about what they actively create as one. And when you put these two side by side, you see this amazing dynamic at play. On one side, you've got the law. It's a top-down command. It defines the boundaries, the non-negotiable guardrails for the community. But on the other side, you've got this invitation, a bottom-up call for participation that builds the community's heart, its shared goal. The big takeaway here is that you needed both. They were both essential. You know, this ancient text seems to suggest the answer isn't one or the other, but this powerful combination of both. And it leaves us with a question that's just as relevant today in our own communities, our companies, our countries. What's the right balance? What really forges a stronger community? The rules we all agree to follow, or the purpose we all volunteer to build together?